Angela Yee. I'm Angela Yee. And look who's here today, 310 Baby.
What's
Welcome.
up? Thank you for having me.
Thank you for showing up. I mean, you have a huge song right now. By the way, what's your team in the NFL?
The Rams, LA Rams.
Okay. All right. So you didn't have nothing to worry about with the Super Bowl.
No. I'm a Rams fan. I mean, I really don't like the 49ers anyway, so it's like I prefer that the Chiefs won anyway.
All right. Well, that was good for you.
Yeah.
So you were did you get to go out there?
To the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
No, I was working.
Okay. Well, you could have been working out there too.
Yeah, no. Yeah, well, no. I wasn't out there though.
Isn't that crazy to say that you're working because you're still in high school? So
Yeah.
it's just funny to be like, I was working.
Yeah, first job.
This is your first job. It's a good one.
Yeah, it's cool. It don't feel like work though.
It doesn't? Well, that's good. That's
It's
the
fun.
type of job that people strive for. It doesn't feel like work.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, you're in school right now.
Yeah, as we speak. Well, I mean, not as we speak, but yeah, school Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 3:30.
Okay, so explain to me how this works, because you are supposed to be there, but this is counting. Like, what do you have to do to make sure that you graduate on time?
So I just have to make sure I, keep my grades up, and turn my work in and communicate with my teachers. I can't just disappear on the school,
Mm-hmm.
So I still have to show that I'm an active student. But that's it, really.
All right, and your school loves you, by the way. Soak City. That song, did you have any idea that was going to do what it did?
No, I thought it was just gonna go up like in the city, like in LA, like just with the youth. That's that was my intentions.
With
like,
the youth, that's you too, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like like teenagers in LA, like in the party scene, because it was about to be the summertime. So I wanted that summer I wanted to be able to go to different parties and perform, just to have something to do on the weekend, and because I already wanted to rap.
Mm-hmm.
So that was what I was doing. I was like, all right, let's make a song for the parties, and I just knew I had to talk about like crazy stuff that just turned parties up, and that's what I did, and it went crazier than I could have ever thought.
So were you popular in school already before this?
I'm really like low key, chill. Like I've never really been the popular kid, but I hang with the popular kids.
That makes you one of the popular kids.
Nah,
That's your crew.
No, I'm like, okay, well, like, yeah, I was like quiet though, like, I wasn't outgoing.
Like book smart, really going to classes, getting good grades.
With me, it's kind of like I have an on and off switch with things. Like sometimes I'm like real quiet and then just lock in on my work.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I'm like a little bit more loud and talkative. It just depends. Like even like talking to you, like if we talk about something like super interesting, I'll like have so much. Like this, you see, I've been going and going.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm like really engaged with it, then I'll go. But usually at school, I'll be chilling.
I thought he was about to be like, that's why I'm not saying much. No.
No.
So what do you think you would have been doing if it wasn't this? Like when you were while you're in school, what were your thoughts on what you would be doing like after high school?
That's funny, yeah. So around that time I made Soak City, I was, okay, like I'm about to be a senior next year, because I was a junior. I was about to be a senior. It's towards the end of the school year, trying to figure out what I'm going to do. I had plans to go to school, like college. I really didn't want to, really. I was trying to see what I could do to get around it. But
let me put out a hit song. That went gold, by the way. Congratulations
thank you so
on a
much.
gold single.
Thank you. So yeah, I mean, I wanted to go to school for business because like I really love like finance, big finance, like financial literacy is really my thing. So like that was all I was doing. Like that last like springtime, like going towards summer, I was just reading and trying to get a little knowledge going. Right. Because I was like trying to be prepared. I really was going to go to school for business. And then I just randomly made this song that went crazy. I was going to still make music. I was already making music on the side. I was never going to stop making music. I was just getting prepared to go to college.
And where did the name 310 Baby come from? I understand the 310 part, but like when did you start calling yourself that? Were you already calling yourself that, or did the song take off and you were like, all right, I got to...
So at that time, so I was dropping music like this, like, and it wasn't going stupid. It was just like me, friends, and like a couple, friends of friends, mutuals listening. And I did call myself 310 Baby, but it was, I don't know, like you said, like, the LA thing, right, at 310 Baby. And then it was a point in time where like 2020, when I was trying to figure out like, I'm going to rap or make music and put it out, I was trying to figure out what I was going to call myself. I didn't want to call myself just my government. Or like, I don't know, I didn't want a corny name. Like I didn't want nothing too like weird or something that sounded too local. Okay. Because when they look at my name, I mean, aside from the 310 part, I don't think it seems too like, oh, that's an LA guy for sure.
Right. But you do feel like you identify with you want people to know you're from LA. Like,
yeah. For sure. I think that's important. Well, Inglewood specifically.
Inglewood.
But then too, yeah, and then I know like Babii is common with the rap. That's why I did the 2 I's instead of just a Y.
Look at you already doing branding and everything.
A little bit. That's important.
Now, when it comes to finances, you said you read a lot of books, and that's something that you thought you would be going to school for after all of this business. Where did that come from for you? Like, I know sometimes we get sparked with those ideas. It comes from like either our parents or something that happened. But what made you say, this is something that I'm interested in?
Honestly, I've always wanted to have financial freedom. I never liked that feeling of like not being able to buy something, or like hearing stories or like people in my family talk about like I can buy this, but like that's too much, or the next thing is too much. Like I'll buy this, but not that.
Right.
I didn't like that, and then like it seems like like not owning homes was like the norm.
Right.
Or like renting was the
and then having to worry about paying the bills and being behind on things.
Yeah.
Although even when you own a home, you still got to pay those property taxes. And, Yeah, and a lot of maintenance. So, it's interesting because some people will tell you, if you talk to like a Grant Cardone, he'll be like, owning a home, he doesn't do that. He only buys things that he rents out, that he rents to people, and then he rents his own property.
Yeah.
Right? So it depends on who I love investing in real estate. So I have a few different properties, and I own my home. It makes me feel a lot more stable, and also to know that I have something if I ever needed to sell it.
Yeah.
Because I think part of the way that I grew up, I'm always thinking about what if something happens and you lose it? How do I make sure that I always have something going just in case other things don't work out, like multiple streams of income?
Yeah, and I think that's like the pros of it is like, at the end of the day, if I own this property, this is my property. The thing like with stocks and stuff, this is cool, and it could be you can come up off of stock a little bit, right? Or owning a piece of a company, but that could dip tomorrow, right? At the end of the day, I think there's risk with owning property, but I feel like you can't compare that to the stock game. It's like it's way different. You could wake up and it be done. At least you can kind of prepare or see your property. Like if it, if the market is down, you could kind of,
It's interesting. I look at the stocks as a long-term thing because a lot of wealthy people have a huge stock portfolio, but a lot of that is not going to be like, it's so rare to invest in a stock and then all of a sudden you get a huge return. Yeah. But what can happen is you invest long-term. So like it's money that you don't have to worry about. Like if I lose it, I'm not going to be broke.
Right.
It's extra money that I put into the stock market so that it can grow and I forget that I have it. And then later on, 10 years from now, I'm like, oh, look at how my stock grew. Because I do feel like, though, it is something that we need to be more concerned about and a lot more accessible with a lot of the apps that we have available so you can invest. Because a lot of the things they tell you should invest in long term are things that you use in everyday life. Yes. Like you might be like, I use Tide detergent or I buy Nike sneakers. Let me invest in the stock too, a little money and see what happens. Did you ever get into crypto at all?
Okay, look, so like.
Here come the story when somebody says, so look, right?
So like the NFTs, when I was going on, I was like a firm believer. Like I thought that was it. And like I used to like watch like live streams of like people like, with all like the markets up and like really locked in. Like I was trying to understand it. And I did, well, not too specific, but I was involved in like NFTs a little bit. And even with the crypto thing, but yeah.
Did it work out for you? For some people, it did. Some people cashed out. And no, okay.
Because the thing I was trying to. This has been me like my whole life. Is that there's been so many, like for example, like the stock thing. You have to be 18. I was trying to figure out how I could sell and trade stocks at 15.
Okay.
So it's like for so long I was trying to figure out how to do things that I really couldn't. So like the crypto thing, I needed a bank account, didn't have one.
Thank goodness.
I needed to be 18, all this stuff, and then I had to figure out the stuff with like taxes. So around that time, all I was doing was learning that. And then what I did do is that there's something called Investopedia.
Yep.
And that's like a simulator. So at school, I was in an investment club. So that's how I was kind of cooking it. Is I knew I wasn't old enough, and I didn't have necessarily I didn't really have the capital to trade. But I use Investopedia. They give you $100,000 and make it work. I was first place in the investment club.
That's amazing.
First place in the investment club 2 times. I was only in it 2 times, 2 years, and I won both. But
that's congratulations. That's huge. I love that.
Thank you.
I love that story. I feel like you'll end up doing some type of nonprofit work too, and
for sure. Yeah, for sure.
Because I could see, I'm going to be honest, I could see some of these financial companies wanting to partner up. Because that's the perfect audience. You know, they've said that if you start a bank account, the earlier you do that, the more chances there are that you'll be successful later in life.
And I mean, I agree with that for sure, because I know a lot of people that are my age without a bank account.
When did you get your first bank account?
So I had a savings account around, I think, 13. Opened my first line of credit at 16.
Wow.
And I recently just opened checking.
Okay. I feel like I need a loan from you. Good. Don't do it. Don't co-sign anything for anybody either. What is it that your parents do that has you on this track also?
I mean, like my mom, like really it's not necessarily what she does, but my mom has always been big on education.
Mm-hmm.
Now, rather than that's just traditional, but what it is, what I've done is kind of grab what the traditional education is like, get like, you know, what am I trying to say here? So basically the traditional schooling, right?
Right.
Is that, you know,
formal education.
Right, formal education. But what I did with that is I took that basic intellect and put it towards something else that I really cared about. Because I may not care about the regular English or history or math or whatever, right? But if I can take that same drive
right.
and that my mom would enforce onto me, right, and put it towards something else, it could be the same thing. It's just education is universal, not just...
Right. I know English. I could write these songs. They'd be bangers. And then you also figured out a way to market and promote them.
Right.
So tell me how things took off for you. Like, when did you first realize, oh, this is really happening?
TikTok. So, I mean, it went up local, like just on Instagram or whatever. But then once I started seeing like CJ Stroud,
that's huge
on TikTok.
I know
like
he was
Russ.
hyped that day when
that was crazy. That's, I mean, after that, like the TikTok stuff, all the TikTok stuff just went dumb, and like starting to see when I was seeing the TikToks go up like 1,000, 10,000 a day, I knew at that point it was out of here.
Mm-hmm. And these athletes, like, did they even know who you were? Because that song was big probably before people even realized, like, this is a high school kid.
Yeah, I mean, some athletes were following me to where like I was like, oh yeah, they see me, but some didn't. I don't think they knew. But I think now we're getting to that point where they're putting the face to the song, and yeah, it's about that time.
So when you turned 18, what was that celebration like? You can invest.
So what we did is so I did my first show on my birthday at the Roxy in Hollywood. Sold out. I think I was the youngest to sell out the Roxy too in Hollywood.
That's huge.
So yeah, that was my 18th birthday. My first show. Sold it out.
And work is fun for you.
Yeah, it don't feel like it's like the thing is this, like I love this, right? And aside from the incentives that come with this or the pros like money or this or whatever, right? At the end of the day, I love this. And what I do, like when I talk to kids at school or talk to my peers, as I tell them, I was like, at the end of the day, it's like we have to say, oh, what do you want to do? Parents ask us, adults ask us, and then we'll say like a doctor or like we'll say whatever because we see like that base salary, but it's like you don't want to like have a job and be miserable and then you're there just because of like, oh, this dollar amount, because then it's like at that point it's not. It ain't it. Like I love doing this aside from the pros. I love this because I love to make music and I love that it's endless. Whatever I want to spin off and do from this, I can do. Because at the end of the day, all we're doing is you're building a brand, you know?
Did you make the beat yourself?
No.
Okay, so tell me who was working with you?
No, so I screen recorded the beat off YouTube.
Okay.
And yeah, it was like I think it was like a couple months old. And I just got it off YouTube, screen recorded it, and I like loaded it onto BandLab because I made my songs on BandLab but on my phone. Loaded it up and did it like 15, 20 minutes.
Did you have to get clearance to be able to use it?
No, because I use DistroKid. So, I mean, it's pretty illegal what I did. But when you're not, I mean, if you don't have any business
right, you're
partners,
not thinking, you're not knowing what's going to happen. You're just having fun.
I always knew that, like, if a song blew up, like, you need, handle the business. But at that point, I'm grinding. Like, I'm trying to get one. I'm trying to catch one. It's like, I'm not going to go buy a beat if you know what I'm saying? At that time, like, I'll go broke.
So when you realized the impact of the song, what did you do next? Because as a person with the business mind like you have, then what are some things that you said, okay, I have to put this in place and figure it out to get to where you are now?
I mean, so what I did is I just looked at like other artists, right, that were bigger than me or whatever. And this was early. This was like still in the summer, so like June, July, before I even linked up with like my manager and the rest of the team. I just took the single, the Soak City. This was in June when it was first starting to pop just locally, and it was still going up, going crazy. I just attached it to a little mixtape, because I knew that if people were gonna come for this one song,
They
I
would
wanted to
find
like
more.
yeah. So I did like a little. I made like edited a little video on my phone, like created like a baby rollout,
Mm-hmm.
and then I just did the best that I could with the knowledge that I knew at that time. Now I know a lot more, and I would have did so much different. But I think it's just experience.
Yeah.
You know, I
No,
learned.
what would you have done differently now that you said you learned a lot more?
Honestly, I would have shot more content before Soak City in general. But even after. But I would have shot more content. I would have had more photos. I would have tapped in with DJs and tried to see what I could have done. Even though I wouldn't have been like known, but I would try to, because I know DJs. So even if it's like DJs that are younger, like teenage DJs, like trying to get them to spin my records and building relationships with them.
I feel like that's an audience that labels are always trying to reach too. Like, how do we reach these kids? That's why they love TikTok. Like, labels are always trying to figure out the algorithm to make a song blow up on TikTok. So you were able to do that organically. And maybe if you would have had a whole plan, it wouldn't have worked.
Yeah, I mean, everything happens for a reason. I don't really, and I don't, how I did say, I would have done it different, that doesn't mean I regret it.
Right.
Because I really don't regret things in life. Because at the end of the day, it's like if I would regret that or regret this or did something different. Because the thing, the way life goes is if I would have done one thing different, I wouldn't be here with you right now.
Mm-hmm.
The smallest little thing. That's how I think. It's like everything is just meant to be.
So now so you have a new album, all right, Nights and Weekends.
Nights and
I kind of
Weekends.
feel like I know why you called it that, but let me know.
All right, Nights and Weekends dropping February 23rd. I want to hear why you think.
Well, I just figured that's when you do your music on the nights and the weekends and perform and, you know, I mean, this is school, it's during the day, but.
You have a high IQ. Because a lot of people didn't catch that. They wanted me to explain like they didn't get it. But why do you call it that? But you know.
So that is why.
Nights and weekends, I only could work at night and on the weekend.
But look at you working out during the day. Because
You know, I mean, certain arrangements have to be made, you know.
when is graduation?
In June.
Okay, in June. Are you performing at graduation? Did they ask you to do anything special? Because it is a big deal.
It's a minute away. They haven't asked me. We have to see, you know. I might be in Australia.
Oh, all right. Let's start on it. You don't want to, but you would want to be at your graduation.
No, I'm just talking. I'm just talking.
I was like, well, damn.
I'm just talking.
I know you
Maybe
wanna
that
be at
week, but that day,
graduation.
yeah, because we're getting international calls right now, you know.
Talk about it. You had your passport already?
No, we cooking that right now.
Oh, so you haven't been out the country yet?
No.
That's huge. That's going to be a big deal. You're going to love it so much. I just think about when you travel like to other countries and see things, it's going to influence when you even think about like how you're going to make music moving forward.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people have been reaching out to you too. I saw Wiz Khalifa did his own freestyle.
No, Wiz
Not
did
even
it.
yeah.
Shout out Wiz, man.
And then let's talk about the album. So who are some of the people on? I see my girl Bia is on there.
So we got Duke Deuce. We got DDG.
Wow.
We got Bia. We got Cash Kid. We got Lil Tyler. We got.
And that
Yeah.
video's out already. I see.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, we're cooking, you know.
Is that you that said these are the people I want, or was it a collaboration? Like, who is the person that you listen to who works with you as far as figuring out like we gotta get this collab, let's get this beat, let's go in the studio?
So it's funny. So how it goes for me in my life, and especially with this music, is that a lot of things just happen like, boom, like oh that's just perfect. So like. With Tyler, it's like boom, like we're both young, youth going up. It only makes sense. Boom, LA to Florida, easy, and it's not like a reach. Like things usually just happen for me. Like it'll be right there. Like oh, it just makes sense, perfect timing. It always happens at the right time, you know.
Okay.
So you know, me and my manager and she, it would just be like, all right, we know this album's coming out. What do we have? Let's see what could work. You know, and then it is
And do you reach out personally sometimes? Like sometimes that DM matters.
No, for sure. Like with Bia. I was just sending Bia videos and me talking like, oh, I'm fresh out of school, just thinking about you. How are you doing? Da da da. I want the verse. FaceTiming her. That's why I'm like real like. I want to talk to like the people. I don't want it to be like real labeled and like
It
or
works
political.
a lot better like that sometimes too, because you get an answer faster than
Yeah,
if
like,
your
I just
people
wanna
gotta
know.
talk to their people.
Yeah, and that's how I am too. Is like I'm this 100. Like if you want to do the verse, do the verse. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. Like let me know what's up. Or it'd be like, oh well, I don't want to do this one, but let's cook or like let's revisit the next album or da da da. You know.
How about the remix? Like how does that happen? Did they?
That's a prime example of what I was saying is that each one of those people on the remix just tapped in. Like, it was just like, boom, every week it was something else. It was to the point where it was like crunch time. Like, dang, what are we going to do? We have so many verses, but you see we made it work.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And so what are your expectations for this album?
Honestly.
Like, what do you want? What would be success to you?
Success, I think, So look, for me, I just wanted to get something out, right? To where like because catalog matters, right? It's not just boom the one song. Now, so what I wanted to do was I wanted to make sure I can cater to different audiences. Like I want something for everybody. It's not just one sound. And I think just showing people the success, or what would be success to me, is just the people hearing it, saying even if they don't like it, hearing that this kid could like really make songs that are real songs. Like it doesn't have to be a catchy TikTok song. Like he actually has a good song. Now whether or not they like it, that's up to them. I don't care about that, right? Because it's somebody for everybody, right? I might not be their favorite artist, but I want people to see like I'm the real deal. Now, when it comes to is he the GOAT and all this, like that time will tell. And as I
you have a little time to get.
But they'll see though. They'll see though. So it's not too much to talk about that. They'll see.
And when it came to your first show, how did you prepare for that?
Just a little rehearsal and just having the vision. Like, what did I want this to be? Like me and my manager just talking. Like, what do we want this to look like? Do we want this to be like a regular show where it's just whack, or do we want to make this a moment to where every kid in that audience wants to come to 310 Baby's next show?
Okay. And, Usher couldn't get Justin Bieber to perform at the Super Bowl, but somehow he managed to do a cover of your song. How did you feel when you saw that?
Man, wait, you said who?
Justin Bieber.
Justin? Oh, yeah, with the guitar?
Yeah, with the drums.
The drums. So, honestly, like, so Justin blew up young. Mm-hmm. I blew up young. And to see that, it was like, Justin, like, I don't know, it felt fake at first. Because, like, it was like, to even see it, like, even though it was the drums and not him, like, making a freestyle or whatever, like Wiz did, it's just, it all just feels fake. It all just feels fake, It all just feels fake, but it doesn't feel, I don't feel like I'm out of place. Like, I feel like I'm where I'm supposed to be and everything is supposed to be. This is crazy. Even
but
talking to you now,
sometimes it just feels a little
like
crazy.
even talking to you now, like I don't not to seem like I'm not prepared with this, but it's just like revisiting that. Like I almost forgot about that. It's like that's crazy.
Right. I mean, you've been doing your press runs though. So.
Nah, but we've been working. I mean, it's just certain things we got to do if you want to be the best, right?
Right. Right. Yeah. Media is part of it. It is still a job. Even though you like it and it's enjoyable, it's still a job. And people have to understand that. So, but fortunately, it seems like you have the energy and the mindset to be able to make it happen. So, do you have brothers and sisters?
Yes.
Okay. How many?
Just one.
Just one? Okay.
Yeah.
And how's that go? Is it older, younger?
Older.
Older?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much for coming through, man. I really, congratulations on everything. The album, Nights and Weekends, clearly I have a high IQ because I knew exactly what that meant. February 23rd. How do you feel? You excited?
I mean, I just feel good, amazing. I think the future is more than bright. It's crazy. And the thing that was funny is I don't think people really understand yet. They don't understand yet, like, what's about to happen. Mm-hmm. It's not just the one record. Just wait, like album 3, 4, 5.
Okay, we got a plan.
It's gonna be crazy, but yeah, I just gotta remain present though. I don't want to get too, you know what I'm saying?
And I can't wait to see what these investments are gonna start looking like.
Oh, it's gonna
be
crazy. Just wait and see. Wait.
But I feel like you might blow a little money, like you gotta have a little fun. Yes, no? Are you gonna have a little fun?
I blow, not even blow, but like I make investments on different things. Like if I'm gonna invest, like, it has to make sense. Like, I'm not just going to go buy it just because, like, but, like, let's do something that builds the brand.
Okay. All right, good. Well, I like the gear.
The brand.
All right, well, 310 Baby. Make sure you guys follow him. Make sure y'all get that Nights and Weekends. I can't wait to see where you are, like, when you come back and visit me next.
It's going to be crazy. Out of here.
Out of here. All right, it's way up.